चे भोरिये आपनहिया नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे माधुरी माधुरीपुरा आशवपासी माता ये जगत जानी माधुरीपुरा आशवपासी माता ये जगत जानी माधुरीपुरा 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 माधुरी माधुरीपुरा 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 माधुरी माधुरीपुरा आशवपासी माता ये जगत जानी के होवा कांडे के होवा नाचे के हो माते माने माने के होवा कांडे के होवा नाचे के हो माते माने माने नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे पंचवदन दरदे डोरी प्रेमे रसगान रो पंचवदन नारदे डोरी प्रेमे रसगान रो कमलासन नाचिय बोले बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो कमलासन नाचिय बोले बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे बोलो हरि बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो बोलो हरि बोलो नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे सहस्रनयन परम सुखे हरि हरि बोलि गाय सहस्रनयन परम सुखे हरि हरि बोलि गाय नाम प्रभावे माटिलो विश्व नाम रस सबे पाया नाम प्रभावे माटिलो विश्व नाम रस सबे पाया नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण नाम श्री कृष्ण नाम रसनि स्फुरी पुरलो अमर आशा श्री कृष्ण नाम रसनि स्फुरी पुरलो अमर आशा श्री रूप पादे याचा येहा भक्ति विनोद दासा श्री रूप पादे याचा येहा भक्ति विनोद दासा नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे राधिका रमण राधिका रमण राधिका रमण नामे राधिका रमण राधिका रमण राधिका रमण नामे नारद मुनि भजय बिना राधिका रमण नामे Hare Krishna. Translation. When the great soul Narada Muni plays his veena, the holy name Radhika Ramana descends and immediately appears amidst the kirtan of the Lord's devotees. Like a monsoon cloud, the holy name showers nectar in their ears. All the devotees, due to great ecstasy, repeatedly dance to their heart's content. All the people of the universe became maddened upon entering the intoxicating shower of nectar. Some people cry, some dance, and others become fully intoxicated within their minds. Lord Shiva, embracing Narada Muni, repeatedly makes loud scream of ecstatic joy, and Lord Brahma, dancing very ecstatically, says, "All of you kindly chant Hari Bol, Hari Bol." In great happiness, the thousand-faced Anantashesa chants Hari Hari. By the influence of the transcendental vibration of the holy name, the whole universe becomes ecstatically maddened, and everyone tastes the mellows of the holy name. Thakura Bhakti Vinoda, the humble servant of the Lord, says, "The holy name of the Lord has fulfilled all my desires by vibrating on everyone's tongue." Bhakti Vinoda therefore prays at the feet of Sri Rupa Goswami that the chanting of Harinam may continue like this always. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you, Prabuji. I'm finished, Prabuji.
Everybody hear me now? Vaibhav?
Yes, Prabuji.
Yes, Prabuji, clear.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome back. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Sri Prabhupada. Welcome back. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namo. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisance unto you. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangapangostra Parshudam Yagnahi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedhasaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregation chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharne Kanipuna Shardharma Samstapako लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजन आनन्देन मत्तालिकौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are sorry, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the loving devotional service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Govinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Welcome back, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. So it's so wonderful to see all the faces back again, familiar faces. So before I begin, I believe Sanatana Mataji is going to help us recap what we covered yesterday, the highlights of it. And this way I posed those 4 questions. I hope we are being able to answer that. Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabuji, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So yesterday we commenced the structured thematic study course of Sri Narada Bhakti Sutra. Charu Prabuji walked us through the 6-week course consisting of 5 themes, which will cover 12 lessons. These 84 sutras are given by the divine Muni Narada, who is one of the 10 spiritual sons of Brahmaji and is empowered by Lord Shri Krishna to propagate the glories of Krishna, to propagate the glories of Krishna Prem Bhakti, which are a guide from the beginner's level to higher to understand the process, to understand basically A, the process of devotional service, B, its characteristics, C, why it should be unalloyed, D, its method, E, its objective, and finally F, its final destination. Now sutras are aphorisms, basically a couple of words wherein is compressed a very deep philosophy. We started by seeking mercy at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, who has written the commentaries of these sutras. So yesterday we did Sutra 1 in lesson 1. Athato Bhaktim Vyakhyasamaha. Translation: now, therefore, I will try to explain the process of devotional service. This sutra first defines a Brahma Bhuta. A Brahma Bhuta is a self-realized, joyful person, free from material lamentation and hankering. Second, only at this stage begins unalloyed bhakti. Third, unalloyed bhakti is beyond karma, jnana, and yoga. And fourth, only through this bhakti one can understand the constitutional position of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So today we will do lesson 2, which will put light on the value of devotion. Over to you, Prabuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the seva. Danvatana.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mataji. You've done very well. Congratulations. Hare Krishna. So let me share my screen with you. I hope everybody can see my screen now.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabuji, we can see.
So today we are going to be we are continuing this chapter 1, theme 1. So there are 5 chapters, and I call each of these chapters as themes. Okay. So yesterday we just had an inauguration, and I just broadly I previewed the entire course. Today we are not actually really going to get into the course now with lesson 2, and we will cover sutras numbers 2 through 7. So this is the first part. The second part is sutras 8 to 14. That we will do next week. So what does this sutras 2 to 7 tell us about us? It is going to tell us about the positive characteristics of the unalloyed devotee. So not only devotional service, but we also must recognize those pure devotees also, Okay. So this is the book that we are using. I told you yesterday. And Narada Muni is the author of the sutras. And Srila Prabhupada's mercy, he is written in this book, the commentary. He's explaining, he's helping us to understand what these sutras actually mean. So this is what I'm trying to give you, a broad overview of all these 6, these particular sutras, number 2 to 7. Okay. And as you can read here, beginning with the left, sutras 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So sutras 2, the overall message that is conveying to us that the engagement that the devotee does in unalloyed devotional service. And I think everybody must be very, very clear what we mean by unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed means it is not mixed with any kind of self-interest. It is intended purely for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Okay, so that must be very clear to all of you. And so, and the ultimate goal, excuse me, of this pure devotional service is to really develop, cultivate love of Krishna, love of Godhead. Okay, prema bhakti. So that is what the underlying message that we are going to hear from the Sutra 2. And we are going to elaborate a little bit more. Then Sutra 3, that you see right here, liberated even in the material body. So one who is really engaged in this pure devotional service, he is considered a liberated person. Why liberated person? Is what we saw yesterday in the very first sutra, that this particular devotional service really begins at the Brahma Bhuta stage. Again, what is Brahma Bhuta stage? As Mataji just help us understand that Brahma Bhuta stage is one self-realized. Self-realized means what? Self-realized, that means we are not this body, we are pure spirit soul. And the second aspect of that we are meant to serve Shri Krishna. In fact, later on we'll see Bhakti Actually, it is the feminine word, you know. It's not he, it is she. So bhakti to be rendered is actually for the pleasure of Krishna. He is the ultimate male personality. We are all female personalities. So through bhakti, we try to please Shri Krishna, and as he becomes pleased, we become pleased. That Krishna allows us to share and relish that particular nectar. And we are going to see that nectar is an intoxicating nectar, sweet nectar. In fact, that Satyajita Prabhu that just now recited that particular prayer, there also we saw that it's intoxicating. And how intoxicating, that is explained in one of the other sutras. Okay, so person who is in a Brahmabhuta stage, what is the characteristic of that Brahmabhuta stage? As this Bhagavad Gita 1854 says that, Evam, this Prasanna Manaso, Prasanna Atma, he is really naturally very, very pleasant, very, very blissful and very, very happy within himself. And no sochati, no kankshati. He does not desire anything. He is not hankering for anything, nor does he lament for any losses. Okay. And then samaha sarvas bhuteshu. He sees everyone same, exactly. Because in everyone's heart, Krishna resides. And at that point, bhakti labate param, the para bhakti, this transcendental devotional service that we are talking about, pure devotional service, actually makes a beginning at that Brahmabhuta stage. So the person is totally become free from the influence of the three modes of material nature. And that is why, even though he has his material body, but that material body is not being influenced by the Maya potency through her three modes of material nature. So technical word for that is called Jivan Mukta. So that is what we are going to see that. Then Sutra 4, he became perfect, immortal, and peaceful because he doesn't have any worries, you know, and totally, completely within himself, Atmarama, pleased by himself. And so he's very, very peaceful and he is immortal. Now that is very, very hard to understand. We will see that how it is possible because devotees also die. But the death depends on how we define the death. The devotees are actually indeed they are immortal. That we will see how they are immortal. Apparently they die, but still they are immortal. Wow. Then take Sutra 5. What I'm trying to give you, the underlying message of each of the sutras. Then we will expand that. And I'm posing some question to all of you also that you might have too also. And we'll look for the answers to these questions are being posed. Sutra 5, as I said, na sochati na kankshati, Brahmabhuta stage. So he desires, he does not desire any kind of material sense gratification because his only soul is enjoying, you know, and he laments for nothing, no material loss, because he's not on a material platform anymore. And so there is no gain, there is no loss. And he enjoys anything, so he does not enjoy anything that is material or within any self things there. He's enjoying because Krishna is feeling joy, pleasure, that's why he's enjoying that. And he is really, he becomes enthusiastic. Any kind of material activity, he's enthusiastic to render the devotional service. Utsahan, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartana. Okay, and then Sutra 6, intoxicated in engagement, pure devotional service, sometimes become stunned, stabdha, Sanskrit word is, in ecstasy and self-satisfied. So he is getting high, not the kind of high that people on the material platform when they have a liquor, because next day is a big hangover, headache. But here, this kind of intoxication is eternal. Anything that is spiritual, there is no beginning, there is no end. That is the kind of intoxication you get. She's always high, always enjoying, and is self-satisfied. And then that's why it's called, it is Atma Rama, pleased within himself. In Sutra 7, there is no lust. So we'll have to understand what is the difference between lust and prema. Lust is on the material platform, not on the spiritual platform. Spiritual platform is prema. So with that, we will see what is the difference between lust and prema. We saw that in previous courses also. Ujjwal Nilamani also we saw. Srila Rupa Goswami defines how lust and prema they differ. All material activities are totally renounced. So this is an overview of all 6 sutras. Now we'll go one by one. So here, all the 6 sutras are given in Sanskrit and the English translation. Okay, so we'll go one by one. So this is the overall mind map of it. Okay. So here sutras 2, 3, 4 begins on the left side. I'm sorry, yes. Sutras 2 right here. Sa first to asmin parama prema rupa. So these are only 2 or 3 words basically. Now you see the sa in Sanskrit, the he and she is sa. So clearly the name Bhakti is actually a feminine word meant for the pleasure of Krishna, who is the only male personality. And Parama Prema Rupa, and here see Rupa, not Rupa, Rupa. So it's a feminine word. So it's a Param Prema Rupa, it's a personification of the transcendental love for Krishna. So devotional service manifests as the most elevated pure love for God. The Sanskrit translation. Then Sutra 3 is only one word, Amrita Swarupa. So it is, Swarupa is the Lakshana, Swarupa Lakshana, the primary unique characteristic of that. And what is the characteristic of here? Amrita. So that is everlasting. That intoxication is everlasting. Amrita. Mrita means that which is mortal, dying. Amrita. Amrita means opposite of it. It's completely eternal. Anything that is spiritual is eternal. So that bhakti, once it begins, it continuously keep on growing all the way to the almost complete perfection until we come to the lotus feet of Krishna in the spiritual world. Sutra 4, Yat labda pumana siddho. Once you achieve, labda means something that you attain, achieve. Yat labda puman siddho. So that devotee is perfection is coming until you reaches the perfection. Bhavati amrita. Siddho bhavati, he becomes perfect. Siddhi means something he attains siddhi. Then bhavati amrito bhavati, he becomes immortal. And tripto bhavati, he is self-satisfied completely in himself. So the translation, upon achieving that stage of transcendental devotional service in pure love of God, a person becomes perfect, immortal, and peaceful. So bhakti, as I just told you, bhakti is a feminine word, as it names Swarupa, Sa, like that. Yeah, highlighted with yellow. And sutras 5, 6, 7. Yat prapya, once you attain such pure love, then what? Yet once you attain yat prapya na kichit vanchati, then he is not desiring, hankering anything at all, anything else. Na kinchit vanchati, na shochati, no more lamentation. Na dveshti, he has no enemies. For him, everybody is devotee of Krishna. Na ramate na utsai na bhavati. He is not enthusiastic with any kind of material activity. His enthusiasm only lies in bhakti. Utsahan nishchaya dharya tat tat karma pravartat. So with great enthusiasm, he renders devotional service. But he is not interested, he is not at all enthusiastic to pursue any material benefits or anything like that. Okay? So a person engaged in such pure devotional service neither desires anything nor enjoys anything on his personal account, nor he becomes very enthusiastic in any kind of material activity. So now we have seen the Sanskrit verses in Sanskrit, and we saw in English translation. Okay. Now, what are the hidden meanings, as Srila Prabhupada explained to us, help us understand that. So here, this verse 2, Prabhupada says is actually, it is that the Shraddha to Prema, okay, how does it begin and how does it reach to the perfection? And there's a cascade of steps involved in that. First and foremost, you must have Shraddha, faith. Now this particular Shraddha to Prema is actually given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Srila Prabhupada, English translation in his Nectar of Devotion, he explains. But the course that we are going to start just after completion of this Narada Bhakti Sutra that sets us, Narada Bhakti Sutra course really sets the stage. And the next course, Madhurya Kadambini, is actually the entire course is the elaboration of this Shraddha to Prema. And you will be really, really amazed. So wonderful, such great depth that Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur takes us in that. And I just completed preparing PowerPoints. The last lessons 22, 23, and 24. It's a 24 lessons course, double than this one. This one is only 12 lessons. And I just it blew my mind like anything, when I reached to the final Prema Bhakti stage. And the things that we came to know about Shri Krishna, it is just really amazing how he reciprocates, what's his nature, how compassionate he is, and how much he cares for his devotees who are rendering such pure devotional service unto him. It's really mind-blowing, and it's just extremely, really all over my body, I felt goosebumps, So what are these steps? So first, Shraddha. So when you have a faith, absolute faith, what is defined by Shraddha? That Mataji, who conducted the courses in Bhakti just a couple of weeks before, she explained to us, Shraddha means defined as the faith in the scripture. So he has complete total faith what the scripture says. So that is when that you know that you have full faith. So renounces all other processes of self-realization. What are the other three processes? Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, and Ashtanga yoga. These are also ways to become self-realized. But this Bhakti yoga tops all these three processes. So it is beyond dharma, kama, artha, moksha, that is on the material plane, material platform. And it's a Brahma Bhuta stage that we have discussed quite a bit now. And it's just the beginning stage, not yet. That is where the bhakti begins, pure bhakti. So first initial steps, it brings us to that particular stage, okay, Brahma Bhuta stage. And then we become qualified at that stage. Pure bhakti really begins at that particular stage. So first we need to qualify ourselves for that. And that's what is helping us, these steps. And then it transcends jnana, karma, and yoga, just as I said. So from Shraddha, when we have that kind of faith we have developed, then what happens? Then sadhu sangha. Then you seek out the saintly personalities and we associate with them. We serve them with great humility. And when they are pleased, they help us, they engage us in pure devotional service. So that is the first beginning step we take. So we must, first we develop Shraddha, and then we seek association of saintly personality. And then, so what does saintly personality do? The first thing, it really helps us taste for hearing Krishna Katha. Otherwise, when our senses are materially oriented, materially saturated, we do not even have a taste to hearing Krishna Katha. In fact, Bhagavatam, there's a verse there, 1-16, Shraddhanasya, with great faith, Vasudev Katha Ruchi, you know. So when we associate these personalities, saintly personalities, they help because they themselves have that pure love. So that is a kind of like infecting. We develop taste for hearing Krishna Katha. So that is the one which we get. And then, of course, the other big thing Sadhu does for us, engages us in Bhajana Kriya. So there's a third step, Bhajana Kriya, engagement in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti begin with. And then, of course, latest step is Raganuga Bhakti, you know. And one can even do both together at the beginning also, that we learned in another course by Raghunath, his Manas Siksha course that we learned so much that Raga Bhakti also can begin right there. But when we are materially oriented, our senses are impure, then we must purify by, so there are three components of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. One, that we must purify our senses. How do we do that? By engaging ourselves according to Vedic injunctions, all these Shastric injunctions, we engage under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, okay? That we must do that. So engagement in the senses according to Vedic injunctions. Third, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, and gradually we purify. And then what happens when we do that, the process is so powerful. There are 64 angas that we learn in the nectar of devotion of this Bhajana Kriya. And we will learn in that course that follows after Narada Bhakti Sutra in the 24 lessons, Madhurya Kadambini, what are all the obstacles that may come and how do we get around, how do we circumvent. So that anartha nivritti, retiring all the anarthas. Anartha means, artha means something that is useful. Anartha, opposite, that has no meaning, no usefulness. That's what anartha. So these obstacles that are impeding our path forward on bhakti, that gets resolved, that gets renounced by this Bhajana Kriya process. And that is the most difficult part, rate limiting step, actually, the anartha nivritti. Okay. So when we achieve that, then all the misgivings of material life and impediments in bhakti that is stopping us going forward is completely mitigated, completely removed, completely gone by the mercy of a guru. And through guru, by Krishna's mercy. And then the real progress is made at that particular point. Then we come to the Nishtha stage. And Nishtha means steadiness, and develop firm faith in the Lord and his devotees. Okay, and then we steadily, sincerely move forward when we develop that. So it's like in America, there's a dating game, right? In India also, I understand it's going on. So when you date these young girls and boys, they date so many different partners, but at some point they become serious, and in America it's called going steady. So that going steady is this Bhakti, is this Nishtha stage. Nishtha means with great faith, great sincerity, you keep engaged with great focus, single-pointed focus on devotional service, and that's how you make progress. And then you come to Ruchi, real taste develops, attachment develops, So taste in the engagement of devotional service, that comes at a Ruchi stage. And then when you have that Ruchi, taste, Ruchi, first Nishtha, then Ruchi, the steadiness, then the taste develops, and then becomes attachment, asakti. Now, Sanskrit, you have to remember how you pronounce asakti. No sha, sa. Asakti means the attachment. But when you say ashakti, ashakti means weakness. Shakti means energy. When you have no energy, that's called ashakti. If it's not sa, so in Sanskrit there are three kinds of sa. Sa, sha, so like that. So when you develop that kind of attachment, serving Krishna, that is the very beginning of love of Godhead that you begin to experience, okay, at that asakti stage. And then there is an understanding of the devotee's relationship with the Lord develops that. And then comes the bhava stage. Very, very difficult, very, very, very few fortunate personalities have to come to that stage. And that is begin to relish that intoxication we are talking about, right, in devotional service. That's in bhava stage. You develop different kind of taste, rasas, that ecstasy you develop, and there are 5 major kinds of rasas, and then 7 kinds of secondary rasas. So relishing a reciprocal exchange with the Lord in great ecstasy. And then finally, so this bhava is like a ray of sun, full blossoming, full sunlight comes at the prema stage. And that is what I was telling you about. I just finished doing PowerPoints, the last lessons for this ultimate stage, bhava, prema bhakti. And just, it's really, really mind-blowing, The constant association with the Lord. And Lord also, Krishna also reciprocates with their devotee with great, just about that same degree of enthusiasm. So this is what Shraddha to Prema. And actually, love develops afterwards. It's Prema. Rati, Sneha, Pranaya, and so on like that. We learned in Priti Sandarbha, in Ujjwal Nilamani also. We won't get into that. So that is the overall Shraddha to Prema of this Sutra 2. Again, what is Sutra 2? Sa Tva Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. Sa, again, I said, see, I underline, it's a yellow mark here. Tva Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. Devotional service manifests as the most elevated pure love of God. So how to develop that, that's what these steps, we go through that. And so this is this thing is this, what I just told you about, this is the verses developed, composed by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Samhita Sindhu. That's what the translation in the beginning. So Adau Shraddha Tataha Sadhu Sangha and so on, all the steps. So in the beginning there must be a faith in that one. So we are going to learn the intricacies how we get this faith Where does the faith come from that? Each of the steps are explained, expanded in such great length. Entire Madhuri Kadambini is nothing but all these steps, Sadhatu Prema. And it's amazing that 24 lessons, one is we will go into that. So then one comes to be interested in associating with pure devotees. Thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and executes the regulative principles under his order. That's Vedi Sadhana Bhakti. Thus, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes firmly fixed in devotional service. Anartha Nivritti. And we come to that Vista stage. And after one develops taste, ruchi, and attachment, asakti, this is the way sadhana bhakti and the execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. Gradually, emotions intensify. We come to the bhava stage. And finally, there is this awakening of prema. This is the gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's take a break, 5 minutes break. So let this sink in your consciousness, okay, what we just covered. Hare Krishna. Don't touch it. Only me.
Prabhu, one small thing, Prabhu, if I can ask, not a question. I see, Prabhu, when you are talking, sometimes we hear some kind of sound behind, as if like a water coming out from a tap. Some kind of sound is coming behind. Maybe it's from your microphone or something. Continuously, it's coming, Prabhu. So just
Problem
wanted to
today,
let you.
I'm using two laptops.
Uh-huh.
The one laptop, the sound is not working.
Uh-huh.
So
That's okay.
the main video screen is the main laptop I'm using with wide angle monitor. It
Okay.
used to me, but the sound is not coming because of some problem. Because first I had this Windows 10
Uh-huh.
and my nephew installed Windows 11, and
Okay.
that created a lot of problems. So I'm using the second laptop just for this, the voice, you know. So I think that's why the problem. So
I think so.
the main laptop, I turn off the audio,
Uh-huh.
so to minimize echoing. But because I'm using these two laptops simultaneously side by side, I
Understand.
think that, so you're not able to hear me clearly.
No, we can hear you, Prabhu. It's just that there is some sound always coming behind.
Background
But
sound,
that's
right?
okay. But that's
I'm
okay.
very sorry. I apologize.
No, don't apologize, Prabhu. It's okay.
My
Just
nephew,
suggestion, Prabhu.
my
One
nephew is
suggestion.
doing his level best to fix this problem, you know. So
One
if this
suggestion is,
comes out,
Prabhu,
then we will remove this Windows 11 and go back to Windows 10 then.
Prabhu, instead of reducing the volume of that particular, you can just mute it off completely.
Completely muted
That
up.
Oh,
Even then also see there's a background voices that as Prabuji just
okay. Completely muted off. Okay.
completely it's on a mute.
Okay.
So audio is in another laptop and video is another laptop, you know. Okay, I think we are resuming.
પ્રભુજી એને લીધે અમે તમારું મોઢું નથી જોઈ શકતા સ્લાઇડમાં.
Really?
હા, ઉપર બ્લેન્ક આવે છે ને.
On my screen, I see the so it's in gallery.
હા પ્રભુજી અમે બીજી પેલામાં જઈએ તો દેખાય પણ અમે પછી સ્લાઇડ જોવી તે ઉપર આવે છે ને એ નથી આવતું.
I don't know. Next, I'll fix it next time. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Sorry about that. So many technical issues. Okay, so now we'll go to the verse 3 in this Sutra 3, and you see the Sutra is again Amrita Swarupa Cha. Pure love of God is eternal. So there are 3 points Srila Prabhupada is making in his commentary. First, a prema bhakta becomes liberated even in his material body. So that's called Jivan Mukta, you know. Prabhupada likes to give an analogy of a lotus plant. You know? Now, lotus is growing in the mud, okay, muddy water, but the lotus flower, simply the water repels, and it does not even in touch, even staying, growing in the muddy water, but the lotus flower is completely untouched by the muddy water. So here also, when a devotee is engaged in pure devotional service, so this muddy water of material world is completely, he remains completely aloof, you know. So the 3 modes of material nature is not affecting him because Krishna's devotional service is protecting him. So he is called Jivan Mukta. So he is in a sense liberated person, liberation from material existence. He has material body, but no more influence in the modes of material nature. So his body is said to be spiritualized. So that's what is called spiritualized, you know. Okay, and I've given you the page number also if you want to read a little bit more. Then the second point Prabhupada is making is how this we are vastly unlimited. I mean, vastly limited personality. minute. We also, like Krishna, we are also Sat Chit Ananda, but extremely minute quantity. Where Krishna is unlimited, we are limited. So it's like we are atomic size, and Krishna is Vibhu, unlimited, gigantic, so qualitatively we are similar to, but not quantitatively. So jivas are limited like Anu, while the Lord is unlimited like Vibhu. And a fully self-realized devotee knows his constitutional position of immortality. He no longer needs to change his material body because he's already spiritualized. Okay. And the third point, even if the devotee has not attained the perfection stage, okay, we are not developed, we are engaged in the process, but we are not graduated here. When we call graduated, when we get certificate, when we cultivate pure love, we are not at that point yet. So even if the devotee has not attached that final point, getting the prema, so anywhere in the Shraddha to prema stage in between, we may be there, and still his bhakti remains immortal. So once the bhakti begins, it never ends. There might be some, because of impediment and all these things are there, effects, but it's never destroyed. And Krishna personally takes charge of the devotee, in fact, ordinary people, non-devotees, there's a super soul is running his life. We already know Bhagavad Gita, super soul Paramatma. He is the complete witness of everything, anything which we do. And he also has a sanctioning authority. The third point, he is the best well-wishing friend, of the living entity. However, when we engage in pure devotional service with Krishna, then Krishna's personally takes charge of our heart, from inside. So it's not Paramatma, it's not expansion. And his three internal potencies, Sandhini Shakti, Samavit Shakti, and this Hladini Shakti. So it's Samavit Shakti, which is the cognizant of, he gives the internal knowledge, the science of Krishna, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, that he provides us, and in Bhagavad Gita, that he says that, Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mama Upayandite. So I give him the guidance, I give him all the necessary knowledge by which he can come to me closer and closer. So that directly, that's why his bhakti totally remains immortal, and Krishna guides him step by step to come to the perfectional stage, prema bhakti. Maybe not in this lifetime, down the line. Some people are lucky, they can get it right in this time. It all depends on how sincere we are, but the bhakti, the potency of bhakti starts acting right there once we begin that, even at the beginning stages. Krishna does not forget. It's just like a good teacher in his class. He is not focused only on smart students, even those who are not smart. The teacher is more conscious about those students. So Krishna is particularly very, very conscious for those of us we are struggling. But what he looks in us is our sincerity. How hard we are struggling to remain fixed in bhakti, but because of our previous lifetimes, the impressions within us that is stopping us, our progress. But once we begin, it keeps on going all the way to the perfection. So at the perfection stage of love of Godhead, realization of his constitutional position of immortality, he becomes realized. And that's why Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita 4:9, what is that? Janma karma chi mein dijam evam yo veti tattvata, one who knows me as I am. So tattva deham punarjanma na eti manavati swarjuna. So after this lifetime is over, he comes back to me in my spiritual world. I take him back there. Here, otherwise, mamai vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana sashtani indriyani Prakriti sthani karshati. So this is what happens. Those who are on a material platform, they are in this conditioned world, are my eternal fragmented parts. Due to conditional life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses. So this bhakti towards him, it gets over that kind of situation, that kind of helpless condition. Okay. So now moving on to Sutra 4. Yat labhva puman siddho bhavati, amrito bhavati, tripto bhavati. So upon achieving that stage of transcendental devotional service in pure love of God, the person becomes perfect, immortal, and peaceful. Now, that is the issue that we all may have a difficulty. How we are immortal, how devotee is immortal. So here, three important points mentioned right here. When a conditioned soul in material existence comes in contact with pure devotee of the Lord and engages in devotional service, he enters upon the path of perfection. So just imagine, we are struggling undergraduate level. We want to go it professionally. Either we want to become an engineer or go to the medical school, and you know how hard it is to get admitted there. Right? So you have to have a really straight A student at the undergraduate level. Very hard work, depending on how sincere you are, how committed you are, and how strong rock solid determination you have. When you have that, then you take the passing this qualifying test, aptitude test, and all that kind of thing. Then you get admitted in the professional school. So here is also like that. So when we are not at this perfectional stage, but we are being qualified for that with the help of a guru, and guru is our teacher, and then Krishna is also there. So Krishna is helping us from within as Paramatma, as he himself, not Paramatma, not his expansion, his internal potency taking full charge of our life, and externally through Guru that he sends, So we are admitted, now we become accepted into the professional school to become a pure devotee, okay? And that's the process begins. So then through pure devotee and Krishna from within, he personally takes charge of us, and then we can make advancement on this path, and ultimately we become a doctor or engineer, or if you're a scientist, PhD, and thus attains perfection, provided he's 100%, provided, see the last line right here, provided he's 100% serious. So sincerity, punctuality is of utmost importance. You have to drop all external interest, and gradually it will do that. Second point, upon attaining perfection. So first, we are not at that stage. How we come to that stage? Second point, now we have reached to that stage. Okay, we are about to graduate as a doctor. So he no longer has to remain trapped in perpetual cycle of transmigration. So what is the transmigration of the soul? To one life to another life, right? And the vicious cycle continues. 8.4 million species of life forms are there. So we keep taking turn by turn, all the species we go into that, and continues. As long as we have these material desires, some kind of desire to enjoy materially, and that is stored, each and everything that we do in every millions and millions of lifetimes in different species of life form, everything is stored in memory in our subtle body, the mind. And mind does not die. Mind keeps on moving from one life to another lifetime, and then resumes. Super soul, help us. What was in your previous unfulfilled desire that you did not get, now you come to this lifetime and you wanted to try to fulfill. So as long as we have this material desire, the vicious cycle continues, transmigration continues. But the moment Guru's mercy flows in us, we accept and we become engaged in bhajana kriya. So all of us are in that process. We become admitted now in the professional school, and we are going to graduate, okay? And then then immortality sets in. So question comes, why is devotee immortal? Immortal means what? The one who does not die. But we all know devotee dies, physically dies really. So what is it? So there's a definition of death. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, it tells us what is the definition of death. Definition of death is that after we drop this body, current physical body, we accept another physical body, the transmigration. So he dies. So according to that definition of death, is accepting another physical body. Okay, subtle body keeps on moving, mana buddhi ahankar, and keeps on getting another body. So that is what the death is defined. So by that definition, devotee does not accept another physical body, because all his material desires are converted into spiritual desires. We don't kill it. Prabhupada says we are not rock, stone. So we need to transform our material consciousness into spiritual consciousness gradually. So once we do that, then after this lifetime, devotee does not accept another physical body. That is called, so he dies, but he does not accept. He goes straight to the spiritual world or comes to next life as a devotee in continuous process. That's what it is. So that's why it's immortality. That's exactly what it means. Prabhupada explains that. The third point, since the devotee also dies for fat, how do we understand this? So I just explained to you. So here, so what is the trick here? Somehow or other, you conduct your life in such a way that towards the end, somehow or other, antakale jamameva smaran. So antakale, right towards the end, when you are ready to give up this physical body, muktva kalevaram, yaha prayati sabad bhav dhyati. So you have to remember Krishna, and you are the whole life spent in materially enjoying. All those things will occupy our mind towards the end. But if you are engaged devotional service right beginning itself, then you develop, and Krishna personally, he promises that I will make sure my devotee remembers me. Antakale, Narayan, Ante Narayan Smriti. That's what it is. So what is the trick? Krishna gives a very nice practical pointer here. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, at all times, ma manusmaracha. Remember me first, and then continue your worldly duties. So you may be working. You are an IT specialist, engineer, doctor, whatever it is. But you continue that duties. Arjuna, he did not ask Arjuna to stop fighting. He was a warrior. So he must do his prescribed duty. But always remember Krishna and then carry on, and Krishna will help us. So tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anushmara yudhyacha mayi arpita manobuddhir. Surrender your intelligence unto me. I will take charge of your, because you are not going to be able to control your intelligence, mind. Okay, so willingly, consciously submit, relinquish, surrender your inner spirit to him. Mayi arpita manobuddhir. Pam evishya. Then Krishna promises, you will come to me. Mam evishya absamshaya. Don't doubt about it. In another, Mam upekte purarjanma dukkhalema sasvatam. So this material world, it's designed to give difficulties. It's dukkhalem, full of material miseries. Padam padam vipada. Every step vipada. Any danger is lurking behind us, And dukkhalem asashvatam. This material world is going to end, And na anuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gata. As opposed to that devotee, he is going to get param destination. So that is verse 4. Now text 5. Yat prapya. So once you go through that, okay, hopefully you're continuing that. then what happens? Then once you attain this final goal, there's nothing else to attain that. Nothing else to be learned once you learn this thing. Yet prapya, nothing chit vanchati. There's no more any material desires. Everything is gone. This transformed the spiritual desire. So you drop your your subtle body also. When you drop subtle body, manobuddhi ankar, then you go back to spiritual. You get spiritualized body. So this is what the devotee does not die. Na sochati, na sveshti, na ramate, na utsahi. He has no kind of irsha, disliking, hating, no hatred for anyone, and he is not at all energetic to continue any material pursuits. Look at, I'm doing this thing, preparing for these courses, classes for all of you, and I learn myself too. There's I have other duties. I have to pay bills. Everything is there, but they are automatically taken care of. We work for Krishna. Krishna works for us. I fix my 16, 18 hours a day. My day starts 3 o'clock in the morning and continues all the way. So this is what the life. This is what we call all the time. Ma manusmaracha yudhyacha. First, remember him. Everything we do for him. Offer the results of the material activities to him, and let him take control, because I cannot control my senses. So Krishna, you are Rishikesha. You take charge of my senses, because I cannot control myself. Then offer yourself, loosen yourself, and let him take control over all our senses. That's what the inner meaning of this particular sutra. Hare Krishna. So now Sutra 6. Yat Datva. So now you got that. Okay. Yat Datva. Matto Bhavati Stabdo. You become stunned. Bhavati Atmarama Bhavati. You become self-realized, and you enjoy within yourself, because you are seeing Krishna. He's getting pleased by our efforts. So here, one who understands perfectly the process of devotional service in love of Godhead becomes intoxicated. This is what I was telling you about that. When I reached to that final lessons, 22, 23, 24, the Prema Bhakti level, in this Madhurya Kadambini, which I just finished last evening, and I just completely intoxicated. What that intoxication, we are hearing that, I experienced myself last night. My mind completely blown apart, and the whole goosebumps all over. It's just incredible, really incredible. The last Prema Bhakti stage, that description is there, Madhurya Kadambini, and the Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur discusses. It's just amazing. I can hardly wait to begin Madhurya Kadambini. Once we learn this basic fundamentals, principle in this Narada Sutra, then we'll get into that. So then we'll understand what is the intoxication means, getting high, but not like material getting high, because then there's a downhill. Next day is a hangover. But here is everything there's no beginning, no end on spiritual level. So that spiritual intoxication will continue all the time. You are remain high all the time. That pleasure getting stern, everything is there right at that level. And I just saw a beginning of that just last night, after so many years. Just incredible. I cannot put it in words. What's that tremendous shaking myself, Okay, so the seventh, final verse of today. Sa na kamayamana. Sa, again, you see, it's she, not he. Sa, bhakti. There is no kama, that means no material lust here. Nirodha rupatvat. Nirodha means something you're giving up, renouncing it. Renouncing what? That rupa, that form of bhakti, which is eternal. So here, there is no question of lust in the execution of pure devotional service. Because in it, in that bhakti, in that form of the rupa of that bhakti itself, is all material activities are completely renounced. Nirodha. Nirodha means renouncing, right? Bhakti process itself will help us to completely, or not any of our efforts. If we engage ourselves in the bhakti, bhakti itself will take charge because Krishna is there and will help us to renounce all material pursuits. Even though we may be doing it, but like the lotus flower, we remain untouched. We have to remain this muddy water of material world. All the, the non-devotees, we have to interact, but we are not interacting with anything, so closely. It's just for the purpose of doing a job, but we only interact closely only with the devotees, sadhu sangha, and we taking care of our life. We already feel that somebody is taking charge of our life. I'm sharing with you. I feel that. I just let loose myself, and Krishna is taking full charge. And I'm enjoying that. Every moment I'm enjoying that. I'm working 16, 18 hours a day, but I don't get tired at all. That's the beauty part of Bhakti. 16, 18 hours. It's full of energy. Mind is extremely sharp. All these lessons I'm doing at a breakneck speed. The ideas flows from my mind. PowerPoints get built up just like that. And I'm watching how it's being done. I'm going crazy. All the PowerPoints of Narada Bhakti Sutras done, Madhurya Kadam is done. Now getting ready to Jaiva Dharma. 48 lessons. Totally 84 lessons. How is being done? I could have done that. Krishna is taking charge of that. I just let loose myself. That's what it is. And the internal enjoyment is just mind-boggling. Renunciation of lust. The lust is in material platform, prema. The prema is on spiritual platform. So what are the highlights for the next week? When we resume, whoever is taking charge, going to recap. Here are the points for that person and for all of you. These are the take-home lessons that you must keep in mind. What is the fruit of unalloyed bhakti and why? So I'm not giving you the answer, but I'm giving you the point of hints where you can find the answer. Slide 3. What are the positive characteristics of this fruit? Slides 3 to 6. What ought to be our understanding of Jivan Mukta, attainment? That also I learned, right? So slide 9. Since the devotee also dies for fact, quote unquote, how do we understand that he remains immortal? The key to our correct understanding is to remember the definition of death given in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Devotee does not accept another physical body, material body. He has spiritual body. He goes back. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for letting me share. And I'm an emotional person. So pardon me for that. Very good.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. There, amazing slides, Prabhu. So that's where sometimes whenever you say, can you review my PowerPoint slides and give feedback, we feel baffled. What is that we can give? You have read the whole book and you are using your decades of devotional experience and putting them in that slide. I sometimes think like, what is that we can see that and comment and tell you, Prabhu, you can improve here or you can improve there, except reading and being mesmerized. There's nothing we can do, Prabhu. That's something I wanted to honestly submit to you today, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, let me explain you why I'm saying that. You say I'm tricking you, all of you, actually. By asking you to give feedback, I'm making you to read those PowerPoints.
I understand.
That is my intention.
Understand. Prabhu.
And
Thank you.
you will come up with questions, definitely. And then you'll ask me.
Yes,
And you'll come up with answers too, also yourself. And you are going to learn how to get intoxicated with what I'm experiencing. I would like you to experience that. And that amazing experience that is, amazing experience that I felt first time this last night when I
Correct.
come to, and I just came to just that particular lesson, particular chapter. Okay, I've not even reached to that stage, far from it. but I got the glimpse of it. Trailer. Krishna showed me the trailer. And my mind was blown apart, you know. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I've noted a couple of questions. Prabhu, I'll ask one, and based
Yes.
on others, again asking, then I'll come back, Prabhu. The first question I have noted, Prabhu, is what stage one becomes eligible to the Goloka, Prabhu? Is it only in the Prema Bhakti stage or Bhava Bhakti stage?
Don't let your mind worry about that. Let Krishna take care of you. When you are ready, he will tell you when you get ready. You
Yes.
just, when we are driving, okay, a stormy night, turbulent weather is there. You cannot see 50 feet beyond your driving, okay? Forget about the goal. The final destination is not there, even 50 feet below. Beyond that, you cannot see. Dark. Light, headlight, can see only so much. But you pay attention at what point you are, and you will reach to the destination. So the current point where you are, that's what you watch out. Presently, your job is to read my PowerPoints. Go through it, familiarize. When the class is being conducted, you get a lot more out of it to familiarize with the slides. So if you do that much, going to Golok Vrindavan and everything will come taken care of that. We cannot see the destination. What we can see 50 feet in front of us, that's all we can see. Because the turbulent weather of this material world, I have to pay the bills. My boss is asking me to do this. Otherwise, all this thing will occupy your mind.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is the turbulence weather that you're driving in this material world.
Yeah, tons of things come, Prabhu. Every day work.
All sit there.
Yeah.
I told you, I lost my vision in the left eye completely. I'm surviving only one right eye only. And it went away just like that, no warning. Within few weeks. But Krishna still allowed me to do this thing. I finished 84 lessons. And at breakneck speed. This is what Krishna does. This is what the magic of this devotional service. I am far, far, far from this perfection. And still is handling me, my life. What more do you need? Ma manuspara yuddhacha. Mai arpita manobuddhir. Mai aveshya asamshaya. Just remember those words, this wonderful, wonderful slokas in Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. I'll come back.
Sorry, any other questions you had?
I had one more question, Prabhu. I'll come back maybe after others ask.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabuji. This is the Radha Vinod Das. Prabuji, your example of, in the night driving and see the light, it's so appropriate, Prabuji, because we start something and, Ado Shraddha and we'll want to see the prema, right? Yeah. So the way you walk, and it's very appropriate. You see where you are there, try to understand, understand and try to see how you feel, how you can get over to that step by step and Don't worry for where you go. That's
So
very.
Prabhuji asked me about the Golok and Golden. It's Krishna's job.
It's a far away, Prabhuji. Yeah.
We cannot even
And-
say.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as I'm just looking at here, the very second sutra, Bhakti and Prema Rupa, Parama Prema Rupa. So, so devotional service is it's a loving, it is. So how appropriately, so and you also mentioned how other processes are there, Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga, they are not loving, they are really hard work there. So how, right in the beginning, Narad Muni puts it, the ultimate, ultimate expectations, right, Prabhuji?
Exactly. So that's what it is, what it is. Parama Sarupa means it's the form of the Bhakti Rupa itself
Right.
is like that, and there is no drag. In
There's no
ninth
drag.
chapter, in the very first couple of verses, Krishna says what he says, that this bhakti process, pure bhakti process, is so wonderful. You don't feel any drag. When we are
Correct.
doing seva on the altar, when I got on the altar, it was amazing experience. I was first of all scared to touch the duty right in front of, and I had to serve that devotee. But it all thing taken care of. So don't think about whether I'll be qualified to go to Golok or not. It is his job. My
Yes.
job is to focus in what is I can see in front of me.
Do your
eyes
role,
can go
do
beyond that.
you, yeah, very appropriate. Do your part and leave rest to Lord.
Ma manusmara yudhyacha. Mai arpita manobuddhe. Then he says, Mai aveshya, you will come to me, asamshaya, don't doubt about it. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Am tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayasmi ma sucha. How much more he is guaranteeing us? Just think about it. You extend your arm and he will pick us out of this material world. But you need to extend your arm for him to hold on to our arm, right? If you don't
Yes.
extend our own arm, how is he going to help us? Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hari.
Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, wonderful session Prabhu. I was just wondering when you put some questions to us, like, did you read our slides? Okay. Are you ready to participate with me? So I was wondering, okay, sometimes like I wonder why Prabhuji is pushing us. But now, after this session, I realizing that you enjoyed a lot. Okay, it is not that you want us to push. You want us to taste that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not that you taste yourself, I am done, I'm happy. No, you want everybody in this group to taste that through the devotional service. Okay, that
Prabhuji,
is
you put right, you put right on the dot, Exactly that's this. When I'm asking you to give me feedback, my intention is for you to really go through that, familiarize. Sometimes very dense philosophy is there. So my job becomes easier. So you help me to help you.
That's what it is, Prabhu. It's such a dense subject, and Narada Bhakti Sutra, the 84 sutras, it's just a sutra, just one line. It is very difficult to understand without the sangha, without association, without seeing the lives of devotees. So when I'm going through the slides, Prabhu, actually I felt at some point it's very theoretical. So how do you practical? Then when you try to give examples within your life, okay, and also when I see some of the examples in Hyderabad Abid's temple, some brahmacharis, yes, I could correlate that.
Yeah.
Okay, who are there within only in a temple, okay, and they do lot of services. So when we see that, okay, what is it they're expecting? They're expecting nothing, but still they're joyful, and always they will never see a moment with a unhappiness face. Okay, with 100% enjoyment you will see them, and lot of enthusiasm. We could clearly see that correlation what Narada Bhakti Sutras talks about with our life and with their lives and all that, Prabhu. That is what I could see. So when initially halfway through in the slides, I realized that it's so theoretical. So how do you practical understand? Once I try to map with them, and also when you start explaining within your life, then I could clearly see that. It's amazing. It's a practically. Previously, I used to think Narada Bhakti Sutra is just one line sutra, and it is very theoretical. Okay, but
Just look, depth
before
of
ISKCON also I have read it through Prabhu, actually, Narada Bhakti Sutra, but it was zero understanding actually. I read it, okay, with some other author, okay, not by Prabhupada, okay, but zero understanding.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very kind. Okay, I'm going to give any Matajis so far. Please, where is everybody?
Prabuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
I want equal terms, Let Matajis also have their turn. Go ahead, Mataji, please.
Yes, Prabuji, thank you for very, very, very beautiful class. So, Prabuji, it's really, yes, what Prasad Prabhu said is that the sadhu sang is so very important, how he was explaining, how you explained. But so you were talking of spiritual intoxication, and then there is material intoxication also. And because of, but this, Prabhuji, somehow you have to push yourself too much for the spiritual intoxication, and which after a very long time becomes addictive. But the material intoxication makes you fall immediately. And I don't know, because of my sanskaras, which are so deep rooted, I fall. And when I fall, I know I have to get up. But then in this process of falling and getting up, there comes a time when I also lose taste for this path. And basically, I'm struggling at the Shraddha part only, that at least let my Shraddha be in place. I should not come out of it. So if I fall down, so then what? Do I fall down forever? Or how long this falling and getting up will continue? And when will I, how should I hold strongly to it?
Mataji,
So if you can guide me with that, because I'm really struggling at this stage.
let me tell you, you are very
Prabuji, I
humble.
can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I in the mute? No, I'm fine.
No.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes, now.
Mataji, the way I see you, you are far ahead. You are just too kind, too humble, actually. The way you sing, I can see that the bhakti right in you, So this is all kind of illusion. The reality is not there. You are already admitted in the school. You are forwarding. You are straight A student to me in bhakti. Okay, so don't worry about these are just illusions. The Maya is playing trick on you. Everything, let it happen. Okay, let it continue. You do what your part. Let Krishna handle it. You feel that you are, this material intoxication is there. Everything is there, but that is not a reality. Let it take its own course. You continue, prepare your bhajanas. Just today's bhajana, the Satyadevata was singing, I saw the word intoxication, nectar.
Yes.
Just right in that itself is there. So that intoxication you're going to experience. You're already doing your job. You're doing your part, and Krishna will take you to the final destination. And all that thing, there's no reality. The material world is catching up around you. You're surrounded by that. There is an illusion. It seems like a real, but if that was the real, then there was no possibility for you to engage in this service. You're already doing it. Krishna is recognizing you. And you are making progress, significant progress. You handle your responsibility, which I assign to you, but build up a team of kirtaniyas. And you have done that with blind success. What more can I expect? Thank you.
I would just say, Prabhuji, please pray for each one of us. We have taken shelter in your classes. So please pray for us.
I am just like one of you, you know. But I'm doing my part. Krishna has assigned me to do this. I cannot sing. I cannot even play kartal. This is all I can do. So you, whatever you are good at it, you serve Krishna from that point onwards, using that.
Yeah.
Okay,
But just pray for us that we don't fall as often. You are very focused, Prabhuji. Just pray for us that we don't fall at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarat Prabhuji, it's your turn now. Haribol, Sarat Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I was listening to Santa Mataji and Prasad Prabhuji. We were talking of Shraddha, but before that, what Santa Mataji was talking of falling down. Here, we have to remember one thing, that in this spiritual path, in this transcendental path, actually there is no falling down. Even if somebody falls down for some time, still then he does not lose, because thereafter he starts from where he has left. Whereas all the material things, material achievements, they end after we leave our body. But these transcendental things, this bhakti, it never gets destroyed, or it never gets diminished in any thing, quantity or quality. And we begin from where we had left. That's why after so many births, after so many lifetimes, millions and billions of lifetimes, we have all our piety had gathered, and now we are having this sadhu sangha, and this is very, very wonderful. And Santa Mataji and Prasad Prabhuji, they were talking about this Shraddha. One thing to be remembered in this Rupa Goswami's famous verse, Adho Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Tatha Bhajan Kriya and all that. And now, what does this word Adho means? Adho means many things, but basically Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says it is Sadhu Sangha only. That means Shraddha begins with Sadhu Sangha, and Sadhu Sangha is a result of Shraddha only. Now, this is that means Shraddha is so important. Shraddha is most important thing. And how much Shraddha? It is not little Shraddha. It is full Shraddha. If you read the commentary of Srila Prabhupada in this Narada Bhakti Sutra, you'll find it is full Shraddha. We have to develop full Shraddha, then we can proceed in this path of devotional service. If we have some Shraddha, yes, we can start off, but at the end, for reaching the ultimate, we have to have full Shraddha. Ultimately, we have to develop that. Then in verse 4 or 5 in the book, there is a mention of the Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 11, 541. Devarsi bhutartan runam pitrunam naking karunayam rinicha rajan sarvatmanaya saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihiratta kartam. That means at some stage you are not answerable, or you are not supposed to indebted to the demigods, the great sages, the ordinary living entities, the family, the society, and so on. But if you want to analyze at what stage we are we like a very simple example I can give. Some devotee may say, I am on this path of devotional service, I am chanting the 16 rounds, I am following the for regulative principles. I am doing this, that, and all that, doing service to the Lord. That's why I am not indebted to them. And do I have to do Shraddha ceremony of my parents, of my ancestors? Now here we have to understand one thing, where this is applicable, this verse. This verse is applicable to somebody who has got 100% Shraddha, full Shraddha. If we have full Shraddha, then it is all right. But if we feel it is not full Shraddha, then you go back to 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, I think 11:29, 11th canto, 20 chapter, 9th verse. There, till we reach that stage, we have to keep on doing our normal duties. That means Shraddha ceremony, we have to keep on doing. And after we reach, we have achieved 100% Shraddha, then we may leave it. But still then you will find even exalted devotees, they do not leave these things. You may ask me for example, I can give you the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did, he went to Gaya and he gave Shraddha for his father and all that. Even Lord Rama, he had given, offered Shraddha for his father. Like this, all the exalted people, they also do this, but this is to set an example for others. Therefore, we have to know, we should know in which stage we are. And I can tell you, at least me, I am not a very exalted devotee. I cannot be called a devotee itself. I am just trying to be a devotee, trying to become a Vaishnava. That's why we have to follow all the other rules and regulations, what are there. At the same time, we should practice the devotional service, word by word, what is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, we may be asked or we may be advised to read the Shastras, and there are too many Shastras. In this, we have to remember one thing, what is opposed to Srimad Bhagavatam, that is not the authority. Ultimately, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they are the authority. And what is given in that, what is given by the Supreme Lord to us in these scriptures, we should follow them. That means what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahisnuna, that we should remember. We should be very, very humble from the very beginning only, even if we have reached that exalted stage. And as Raghunath Das Goswami also, he practiced, and he also says, even if you reach at a higher stage, you should not show it up to anybody else. You should be humble enough to accept that you are not greater than a blade of grass. So this is the state in which we should stay, and we should try to develop our bhakti. And as Prabuji explained, it is up to Krishna to decide where we are. And even if he decides to punish us, even if he decides to ignore us, let him do. Whatever he wants to do, let him do. But let us do our duty, that is perform bhakti as given in the Shastras, as explained by our Acharyas, and that should be the basic principle and basic premise in which we should move. And as it will be explained later on also in Madhurya Kadambini in detail, this Shraddha is very, very important in bhakti. Shraddha is the entry door. Entry door is Shraddha, and in Jnana Marga, their renunciation is the entry path. That means in this Bhakti Marga, this Shraddha is the entry door. Therefore, we should try to develop 100% Shraddha on the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna, and depend depend for everything on him, like the gopis, like the Brajavasis, they used to depend on Lord Krishna for anything and everything, and that's what we should do. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very well put, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Yes,
you so
Amina.
much, both Sharu Prabhuji and Sharat Prabhuji. Excellent, excellent class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. You're very kind. Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Sir Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Sharu
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You actually you inspire me a lot, you know, because you're always inspiring from service. You know, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think now we are almost time. If there are no questions, I'm going to request Saga Prabhu to conclude the class. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Prahlad Ladahi. Prahlad Ladahi. Hiranyakasi Purvachare. Purvachar Shilatankar. Nathali Shilatankar. Nathali. Ito Narsingha, Bharata Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Bharata Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Vai Narsingha, Hridaye Narsingha, Vai Narsingha, Hridaye Narsingha, Narasingha Madhin Saranam Prapade, Narasingha Madhin Saranam Prapade. Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singham Hiranyakashipur Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singham Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Charu Prabhu ki jai, Sharat Prabhu ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, all assembled devotee ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you very much, Saga Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All glory to Shri Prabhupada, all glory to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all glory to all the devotees. So I look forward to see you all next week. Until then, I wish you wonderful ahead. Haribol.
Thank you
very much, Prabhu. Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Charubai. Thank you, Sharat Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you very much, Sharat Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you, Prasad Prabhuji. Haribol, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Rami Mataji, thank you. Archana Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So excellent. Wonderful.
Thank you.
And I hope you have your good eyesight so that we can I'm a little bit selfish here, but we would like to have your association.
It's up to Krishna Mataji and all the devotees, mercy.
We are praying, Prabhu. We are praying for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone. Bye. Hare Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sanjeev Prabhu. Sanjeev Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Sanjeev Prabhu, are you there?